Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Teach Me to Code. This is Charles Max Wood, and this week we're going to go ahead and continue with our blog exercise. Now what we're going to start out doing is we're actually going to create a new feature, and this feature is going to be regarding the post management or post CRUD. So basically we want to be able to create a new post, show an existing post, delete posts and update posts. Now I didn't have time to get through all four, so in this I'm actually just going to go through show and create, and we're just going to test them first with Cucumber, and then we're going to work through the actual setup. So here we have a feature. It's in order to provide quality content as an author, I need to be able to manage posts. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to do showing a post. And the reason is because everything else, we can kind of demonstrate that a post exists and has the correct data by showing it. So we went over, we copied the data out of the feature from the last screencast. Mainly because it already creates a post. I mean, why duplicate the work? And then in the end, we should see the data from our post. So let's go ahead and copy that and paste it in here. And then we can see that, we create the post and then we show it. So let's go ahead and run Cucumber. And you can see that there's one step there that's when I display the posts. Now I want to point out here that there is actually a WebRat step that will take you to a page or a given path. The problem is that this path requires the ID of the post, and I'm not going to mess with trying to pass that through. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to create our own using WebRat and just say we're going to visit /post, and then we're just going to pass the post ID, as you can see here. So then if we run Cucumber again, it is now looking for the content in my post in whatever it got back. Now the thing here is that we haven't set up any routes or anything else that will take us to that particular location. So let's go ahead and create a route. We're just going to expect a standard get on the request, and it'll just go to post/ID, and you can see here this is the syntax for telling it which controller and action to send it to. So we're going to send it to the post controller show. And let's go ahead and run our spec again. Actually, I just realized that one thing that we don't have that will make this work properly is the view. So let's go ahead and go to the posts folder and create us the view. It's just the show view that corresponds with the show action on the controller, and that should get us going. Now you'll see that if we went back, but we're not going to, I'm just going to tell you, if you remember, the last failing line was actually the title. So let's go ahead and put the title in. We'll put it in an H2 tag, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll go to the post controller and hurry and create the action. So just find the post by ID. And then we can go ahead and run our spec, or I guess it's our feature. We're going to run our features, and oh, blew up. So let's see it. Okay, it was expecting an end, and so if we run back here, oh yeah, we forgot the end on the method. That's kind of embarrassing. All right, let's go back, run it again, and there we go. Failed like we thought. So it said that it couldn't find the post controller. It looks like we left an S off of the posts controller. So let's go ahead and run this again. There we go. So now it's looking for the body. So now if we go back into our view and we add the body in, then we can get this next this next section to pass. And I'm setting it up with classes for the CSS, but I'm not going to do anything with them right now. I'll save that for another screencast. All right, so here we go. And now it's looking for the author. So let's go ahead and add that in. Again, we're just going to put the proper wrappers around it, and we'll come back later and make it all classy. All right, so we should be good to go here. We should have that one pass and move on to the next one. And there we go. So it's looking for May 22nd, 2010. Now, if you remember from last time, that isn't the create date. It's actually the publish on date. If we did the created at date, it would actually put in today's date because we didn't specify it, and it's set up automatically by Rails. So let's go ahead and put that in. We're going to put it in as post date instead of post published on. And we're actually going to use the string formatter on the date to give us the right syntax. So the %b is the three first letters of the month, %d is the day, %y is the year, and that should actually get us well on our way here. We should see everything passing now. And there we go. So we now have a functional show page for our blog post. So let's go over here and create another feature. And then, I'm just going to copy this feature and use it to create the other feature. So we'll get that indented properly, and we're going to actually create a new post. So let's see, create post. And it turns out that we're not actually going to need the given I have a post because we're going to create it. So let's just do a when I go to the create post page, or maybe posts creation page. So then what we can do is we can actually go ahead and we can start filling in the fields for the creation form. So we'll fill in the title and the body and all that stuff, but I don't remember exactly what the step is called. But if you come down into web steps, there are steps given by they're included by default with Cucumber. And so you see here we have, and I fill in blank with blank. So that's what we're going to do, is I fill in the post title, and Rails sets it up so that it's post square bracket title. So, you fill that in with whatever the title is going to be. And we'll just use the title from the line below. Let's add something on the end, my post title. And that'll give us something to differentiate it from the other scenario. So then we'll do the same thing with the body. And I feel like we ought to change this one too. So we'll just add something here, literally. And the author, instead of filling in author, let's see. I think what we need to do here is we need to use a select box. That's typically what I would do. So it should be something like I select from. I'm not sure what it is, so let's go look it up. There we go. When I select blank from blank. So we'll come back here and we'll select Charles Max Wood from post author. And let's clean that up real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we have the user in place so that it'll show up in the select box. So we'll just use a given step here, and I think that's good enough for that. And then we'll go ahead and do the fill in for the last one. And that'll just be the post publish on. And, you know, we'll just bring that lower row up to this row. All right. And then what we need is we need a submit button, but I don't want to call it submit. Let's call it save post. And when it submits, then, well, basically, yeah, let's just have it go back to the show page because we already have that done, which means that I should see my post, well, actually my post title, and, you know, we should see the body as we have it there. Let's go ahead and change the published on dates, just, you know, just to mix things up a little bit. And let's go ahead and run our cucumber scenario again. All right, so we have two steps that aren't implemented. So let's go ahead and move those over into our steps file. And actually, well, let's go ahead and create the user. So we'll just, you know, user.create and then name, and then we'll assign it name, and we'll just change the argument name real quick. And then this other step, it turns out that there's actually a step, or there should be a step like it in the WebRat step. So let's look here, and it's when I press something within something, but we, you know, we haven't been using the withins, probably won't. So, so when I press save post, all right. So now we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and run our cucumber, what do they call these things? Features. Let's run our features again. And, okay. So now we have a little issue here with the mapping for the creation page. So what you do is you go into the paths under support, and I usually just copy the home page path that comes by default. We'll just indent it properly for readability, and then we'll call it the post creation path or page. All right. So there we go. So now it's saying that there is no text field, text area, password area, or password field, or anything like that on the page. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll go to our routes, and first we'll create a route that sends it to the create action on posts. So that's just a simple and easy get post create. We'll make it posts create, and it kind of matches the convention for our controller. Now, one thing that you'll notice here is that I'm actually using create for what would traditionally be the CRUD for new and create. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I feel like new, create, edit, update, it just gets kind of cluttered, and it really kind of manages the same thing. So I'm using create to use what would traditionally be a new action on the post. But anyway, so we've got the action in there now, and let's go ahead and run the I keep calling it specs, but it's a feature. And it looks like we're missing the template or the view. So let's go ahead and create the view real quick. It should just be create.html.erb. And oh, we don't want to switch there. We actually just want to create the page. And let's go ahead and add the form in here just to get things started. So we can just use our @post variable and create the form. Now this is a change in Rails 3, is that we don't actually, or you have to put the equals on there. It's deprecated not to do so. Where in Rails 2, if you put the equals on the form for, it would, where you see the triangle bracket percent equals right there on line 1, it would blow up on you in Rails 2, but in Rails 3 it's required. So just add it in. We'll put a text field in here for the title. And let's go ahead and add a label just for good measure. This really is just kind of placeholder stuff so that we can see it, and then we can come back later and you know, manage the look and feel of it. So we'll wrap it in divs and we'll give it a go. All right, and it blew up again. So let's see what the problem is this time. All right, so undefined method posts path, which means that it's trying to use the default URL, and the issue here is that I'm not using the traditional resource to define the default routes, so I actually have to specify where I want it to post to, and I'm just going to have it post back to itself. So now it's looking for the body. So let's go ahead and copy this and put space in for the body. And now it's looking for a select box for the author. So we'll go ahead and create the select box. We have the label. We'll just make it for author. In fact, let's make it author ID, and then and that's just for the reference on the object. So all right, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and get all of the users, and we'll go ahead and map them. What we do is you map them into an array of arrays, and the first thing in the array is what shows up as the text that's visible in the select box, and the second is the value on the select. So we'll go ahead and make sure that this is changed to author ID, and then we'll go ahead and run the features again. And hopefully this just goes right through, and we'll be on to the next piece. And yes, we are. So let's go ahead and fix up this last bit with the published date, and then we should be pretty much home free. So let's go ahead and add it in. So we'll just type it in. Well, let's just copy it and paste it. I'm not a big copy and paste programmer, but you know, it's effectively the same thing, and you know, it's a little faster. So we'll just change these to published on, and we'll clean up the tags a little bit, make that into a text field, and obviously there are no options on the text field, so we'll go ahead and run our feature again, and now it's looking for the save post button. So that's not hard to fix. We'll just create a div to wrap it, and then we'll do form.submit underscore or submit. Well, let's just do a submit tag, and we'll just pass in the text, and that'll get us going. It should click it and move on to the next step, and it has. So now it's looking for the contents of that show page that we were talking about. So let's go ahead and we'll go back to the controller and make it do its magic. But first what we need to do is we need to make it set up, or we need to set up the post route so that it posts to post create. So that's easy enough to change. We'll just take care of that. And then we'll run the bundler again. Same thing, not a surprise. So we'll just run back over to the controller, and we'll make it actually save the post. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that it's a post, because if it's a post, then it's sending us data that we need to use to create the post. So we'll go ahead and use that data, set up the post object, and then we'll just make sure it saves, and if it saves properly, then we'll redirect it to the show action. So show post ID, and then if it's not a post, then we'll just drop through. And in either case, it'll drop through. And we'll do some of the other bookkeeping later, because this podcast or the screencast is already 20 minutes long, and I don't want to go too much longer. But anyway, so we're having the same problem again, which means that our redirect, oh, there we go. The post feature, let's just have it show us the page really quickly. See what we're getting. And what we are getting is a Firefox loading up. I can't find the file. Try again. No good. Huh. Why don't we... Oh, that's new and interesting. So not found. I think that might be a 404 error. It's either that or it's not finding the post after we create it. Let's see. Yeah, not found. So let's just delete that really quickly. And let's see. If we go... I'm a little stumped, but let's look at the controller again. Oh, right. So it shouldn't be going to show, it should be going to /post/post ID. So let's set up the redirect and see if that solves our problem. All right, there we go. Everything passed, and there's our page. It's not pretty, but it works. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's just take this out, and we'll go ahead and we'll send everything up to GitHub. You can find this at github/charlesmaxwood/rpress. So let's just commit it. It's the post show and create. And just so you know, the git with the -A, what that does is it actually removes all the deleted files. So we got one more to get rid of. So we'll trash it, and we'll push it up again. So we'll have to do a git add -A, or we could do a git rm, either way. But either way, let's just clean it up, and Thank you for watching. New Relic is the leading provider of application performance management tools for Ruby and Java applications. Thousands of companies use New Relic RPM to monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize applications deployed either in the cloud or in dedicated hosting environments. RPM Lite is free, fully supported, unlimited time version available at www.newrelic.com. All the leading Rails companies use New Relic, including 37 Signals, AT&T Interactive, Shopify, OurStage, IGN, and lots more. This episode is sponsored by Jumpstart Lab. Jumpstart Lab offers private and corporate training in Ruby, Rails, and related technologies. They're experienced educators, not just good developers, and will get you going quickly. Courses can be scheduled in the U.S. or around the world and curriculum customized to meet your needs. Learn more at jumpstartlab.com.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!